What is going on, everyone? James Hancock here. I'm back to review episode 13 of season 2 of The Orville, an episode called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Now, next week is the season finale, and I'm starting to realize that for the first time in months, my Thursday evenings will be painfully free. With the season 2 finale Discovery playing tonight, my whole routine of reviewing these two shows since January will be changing. So I guess I'll need to start placing greater emphasis on reviewing new movie releases as the summer movie season officially gets underway. And speaking of which, next Thursday, my review of the Orville Season 2 finale will be a little bit late due to the release of Avengers Endgame. Short of death or prison, that's where I'm going to be, as well as a huge percentage of the Earth's population, I imagine, so I apologize in advance for my late Season 2 finale review. But that's next week. For now, let's focus on the Orville. Tonight's episode might be the funniest of either season. Not my favorite from either season, that honor still belongs to Identity Part 2, but throughout this episode, I found myself smiling and laughing so much that it made my face hurt. At one point, I kind of had to rub my face just to kind of unclench my jaw. Also, quick side note about Identity Part 2, the Season 2 finale of Discovery, which I watched ahead of time, had a lot of striking similarities to that ep. I'm not suggesting that either show copied the other, in that they were in production at the same time. That said, this will invite additional comparisons between the shows, and spoiler alert, the Orville did it better. But getting back to tonight's episode, this is one of those stories that underlined everything that the Orville does so well. The episode had heart, romance, tons of laughs, a classic time travel paradox, a subject that sci-fi geeks never get tired of discussing. But one of the classic tropes of great TV is the will they or won't they question when you have two characters feeling sexual tension season after season. It's a great dramatic device to keep people interested in a show for a long time. And this episode dives with both feet into Kelly and Ed's relationship, but with a great sci-fi wrinkle. In broad strokes, Isaac and Lamar are playing around with the Aeronov device when an unexpected gravitational wave passes through the ship, powering up the device and bringing the Kelly Grayson of 7 years ago into the present. For the sake of simplicity, we'll just call them past and present Kelly, but this episode really gave Adrienne Palicki an opportunity to stretch her acting muscles, in particular her comedic chops when she first learns that past Kelly wants a job in the Orville. The grimace that Adrienne Palicki made as present Kelly was absolutely hysterical. In any event, past Kelly's present gives Ed an opportunity to try and undo all the mistakes he made the first time around with Kelly years ago. Present Kelly's a little caught off guard, and even Malloy tries to be a good friend and talk Ed out of it, but as Ed soon learns the hard way, he's not the same man he was 7 years ago, and as attracted as he might be to past Kelly, he remains in love with present Kelly, even though she's told him repeatedly she has no interest in trying again. And as if the brew were not already rich enough, to add additional danger to the episode, we have two near misses with two Kaylon ships on an intercept course with the Orville. And it's crucial that we're reminded periodically of the threat that they continue to represent, and thanks to past Kelly, they cook up this plan to hide in a ring of ice surrounding a nearby planet. In theory, all's well that ends well as they prepare to send past Kelly back home, but the episode ended with a legit cliffhanger, with past Kelly deciding not to go on a second date with Ed, perhaps altering the future, or perhaps creating a separate timeline. We'll find out 1 week. But if we see a scenario where the timeline comes unraveled and Ed and Kelly never got married in the past, perhaps that'll open the door in the present to them finally having a chance to get it right. The domino effect of them never getting together would obviously lead to a scenario where the total status quo of the show would be forever altered. And if the show's not renewed, that doesn't really matter. But if the show's going to continue into season 3, I can't imagine that they'll upset the apple cart by so much. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see. But there was so much to love about this episode, and I honestly have no critiques. So I'm just going to rattle off a few quick highlights that I found particularly enjoyable. On a dramatic level, it's great seeing past Kelly's initial disappointment that present Kelly failed to achieve past Kelly's goals. Past Kelly wanted to get married. Past Kelly wanted to become a captain and have a great relationship with her crew. But it takes some time for past Kelly to appreciate everything that present Kelly has accomplished. That said, seeing past Kelly dialing up her sexuality to an 11 was a genuine thrill. Obviously, Adrienne Palicki is an astonishingly beautiful woman, but so often her roles in movies and shows require her to embrace her warrior spirit in a lot of ways. But she really got to lean into her feminine side in this episode, and it was a refreshing change of pace to see her put out the vibe, so to speak. But the real showstopper for me was seeing Ed try and hang with past Kelly on a date in a nightclub simulation. I've seen many an older man, and even myself on a few occasions, aging in dog years right before your eyes as they try and hang with the youngins, even if in theory getting completely shit-faced and going dancing with younger girls sounds like a good idea. But Ed and Malloy end up sitting in a booth totally bored while past Kelly and Tala dance their asses off with Yaphet, Bortus, and Clyden. And we need to pause for a second and just appreciate Mocklin dancing and how it's the perfect outlet for their aggression and their love of combat. I quite literally was shrieking like a hyena. I was laughing so hard. And when I revisit this episode, and I fully plan on doing so, I will probably start with that particular scene. So I was not expecting this to be a two-parter, but fingers crossed, the season finale will be so damn good that this two-parter becomes an immediate rival to the two-parter of Identity. And as long as we're making up a Christmas list, I would also like to see an announcement next week that the Orville's been renewed for a couple more seasons, as well as a few movies. But for now, I just focus on enjoying what is in front of us. Overall, I've been completely, totally blown away by season 2. I think it's one of the most reliable and consistently enjoyable seasons of television that I've watched in several years. I think season 2 absolutely destroys season 1. I don't know if I'm in the minority on that or not, but nearly all of my favorite episodes of this show are in season 2. So I'll have more to say on that subject next week when I get into my season 2 finale review. And speaking of season 2 finale reviews, I still have my season 2 finale review for Discovery to do. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, but I can't thank you enough for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you want to talk about the Orville, Star Trek, whatever, hunt me down on Twitter at Colbrax. There's a link in the description below. And also please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're in the mood for more long form content, yesterday we posted a big giant live stream about James Cameron and the Abyss, as well as some predictions about Avatar. So definitely have a look at that as well. But thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. But more importantly, as always, onwards and upwards.